I keep thinking we've got our own version of the scorpion and the tortoise right here in America. You know, why in the first time in our history has all of this horrible stuff been going on in the world? The very first time there's been so much exploding all over the world, all at once. There has never been. I've been around. I'm very ancient. I'm so old. I remember the Dead Sea when it was only 6. I mean, I'm really up there in years. And I can tell you, maybe it seems like my get up and go got up and went, but it didn't, because I'm still very active and very concerned. And I can remember back when FDR was the president and before World War II. And I can tell you that in all the time I've been around, I have never seen the world explode to the degree that it is now.
Yeah.
Even during the world wars, it was at least more organized, and it wasn't this uncontrolled idiocy going on here and then there, and then popping up over here and then another place over there and somewhere else. It isn't like that back then. It was different. But now, it's totally uncontrolled. Well, there's a reason why everything is so totally uncontrolled now. Because we have a totally irresponsible, ideologically retarded running our country.
Yep.
And running it down. The one nation that once was able to restrain the world's uncivilized hordes is no longer able to do so.
That's true.
And it is terrible. It is really something. So it's, I hope that a lot of your listeners realize what's happening. And I'll bet there are a lot of them that do. They realize that in our country today, in our nation, we have a change that has taken us away from what was ever becoming the most progressive and the most dangerously progressive country, taking us away into almost a complete dictatorship. It's still got a little ways to go, but believe me, the country we once knew as the United States of America is gone.
Yeah.
We have something else in its place, and it's a very sad turn of events. It doesn't have to remain that way. We can get our country back, but we haven't got it back now. It's something that I'll bet a lot of your listeners are concerned with, and they're saying, well, nobody can do anything about it. Well, that can become a self-fulfilling prophecy if we allow it to.
Right.
But we don't want to allow that to happen. We can do something about this. We can get deeply, deeply involved. And that's something that you were mentioning, that we have to get involved. We have to realize that every generation that comes up has to re-win the freedoms and liberties that we once took for granted.
Right.
That has to be won all over again with each new generation. And it's true, and it's not just fighting a world war or fighting a brush fire war in some other part of the world to help to protect the ideas of the freedom we have. But the biggest war we have, really, is within the ideological warfare that even gets into our country, and a lot of the so-called leadership we have today that is inclined to say that we are not very special, we're not important, and we're a second-rate country, and we should be ashamed of ourselves.
Right.
We, the nation who brought most of the population of its country up to the status of the middle-class Americans that were able to have more prosperity than any other population on the planet in all the 8,000 years of recorded history.
Right.
This is what we have.
That's true.
And this is the great exception that America was. The wonderful great experiment, as it was called. And as one of the founders said when he left Philadelphia right after finishing the Constitution, he was asked by a lady, what kind of a government are you giving us? And he said, I have given you a republic if you can keep it. How interesting.
I think that was John Adams, or was it John Hancock? Either John